Hi there. I have a fascination with all things history, mystery, conspiracy, and paranormal. I love to do deep dives into topics I often stumble upon surely by chance, and I love to tell stories. So, welcome to Sit and Spin. This week we have a special guest, Bobo, sleeping here peacefully beside me, showing his little belly in a perfect expression of trust. We're going to dive into the world of dreams today. So let's get set up and I'll spin you a yarn. Dreams are themselves fascinating, but where they come from, what they mean, that is something humans have spent eternity trying to understand. According to Wikipedia, dreams are, quote, a succession of images, ideas, emotions, and sensations that usually occur involuntarily in the mind during certain stages of sleep. Humans spend about 2 hours dreaming per night, and each dream lasts around 5 to 20 minutes. End quote. All right, sounds simple enough, but nothing about dreaming is simple. Maybe there's something about the dream state itself that connects us to parts of reality that aren't available when we're awake. Maybe there's a place where all dreams take place, a parallel existence that we only tap into in an unconscious state. Maybe dreams are a bridge between the material and spiritual worlds. Or maybe there's something darker happening. Maybe there's people who can move through the dream world and touch the lives of strangers across the world. People like a person known only as, quote, this man, unquote. Let's talk about him and hope that Bobo is not dreaming about him. I did a little adjustment so that we can watch Bobo as he thinks about attacking my fiber, because that's what Bobo does. So, in January 2006, a New York psychiatrist received a drawing from a patient. A drawing of the face of a man who had been repeatedly appearing in her dreams, often giving her advice on her private life. The woman swore she had never met the man in her life. The psychiatrist put the drawing on his desk, and he forgot about it until one day, a different patient recognized the man and said that the man had often visited him in his dreams. He also claimed he had never seen that man in his waking life. Curious now, the psychiatrist sent the portrait to some of his colleagues, requesting they show the man to patients with recurrent dreams. 4 more patients recognized the man as a frequent presence in their own dreams. All of the patients referred to him as this man. So, in 2008, a website was created by Italian Andrea Natella named Ever Dream This Man? Telling the world about this person who was repeatedly seen in dreams but was never found in real life. The website included posters people could print out and put up around their own towns and cities to find others who dreamed of this man. It wasn't until October 2009 that it gained the attention of the press and online internet users, who were amazed by what they discovered. From January 2006 until today, at least 2,000 people have seen this man in their dreams in many cities all over the world. Los Angeles, Berlin, Sao Paulo, Tehran, Beijing, Rome, Barcelona, Stockholm, Paris, New Delhi, Moscow, the list goes on. There seems to be no relation or common trait among the people that have dreamed of this man, and no living man has ever been identified as the man in the portrait. The aim of the website was twofold. One, to help those who had seen this man in their dreams and to foster communication among them. And two, to understand who this man is and why he appears in an apparently patternless array of situations in the dreams of many diverse human subjects. Here are some examples of the dreams shared to the website. 1. I have had this recurrent dream for some years now. A tall, dark man shows me a picture and asks me if I can recognize my father in it. The man in the picture is this man, and I have never seen him before. He looks nothing like my dad. Nevertheless, I inexplicably answer that I do recognize my father. At this point, I usually wake up feeling very peaceful. Other times, the dream continues, and I am standing before my father's grave. I place some flowers on the ground, and I realize the photograph on the tombstone is missing. Okay, that's a little weird. Dream 2. I fell in love with him from the very first time I saw him in my dream, even though if I think about it, I must admit he's really ugly. And yet, each and every time, he sweeps me off my feet with his romantic gestures and sweet words. He buys me flowers, jewelry, he takes me out to dinner or to the beach to watch the sunset. 3. I have always had this dream of flying in the sky over my city and observing my friends from up there. Since I moved to another house, I started meeting this man while flying. Not every single time that I have this dream about flying, but often enough. He flies too, but he never speaks. 4. The first time I had a dream about this man, I was having a hard time at work. I had a dream about getting lost in a huge and deserted shopping mall. Suddenly, this man appeared and I started running away from him. He chased after me for what seemed like an hour until I found myself against a wall in the kids' area in a supermarket. At this point, he smiled at me and he showed me the way out towards the cash desks, and I woke up. Ever since that night, this man has appeared in all of my dreams, and he always gives me directions to get out of the dream and wake up. 5. I saw this man in my dream, dressed as Santa Claus. When he showed up, I felt so happy, just like when I was a little girl. Then he smiled at me, and his head became a balloon floating in the air above me, but no matter how hard I tried to catch it, I just couldn't reach it. That's a bizarre dream, but it makes sense as a dream. 6. I dreamt of this man when I was in the 10th grade. He hasn't been in any recurring dreams, just one very memorable and terrifying dream. In my dream, I was stuck in a room sitting on a stool. A few feet away from me was a television set. I was visited by 2 men I had never seen before, but not this man. And they both attacked me. I woke up covered in sweat and tears, and I was screaming. I somehow fell back asleep and found myself back in the room. I started screaming and crying. Then this man showed up. I begged him not to harm me. He didn't change his blank expression or speak. He slit my throat and I woke up. I suppose he let me out of the nightmare, but I couldn't stop thinking about him for weeks. I still have some of the sketches I drew of him. I know, it's kind of weird. 7. I dreamt this man was in my mirror watching me, saying nothing, and he was wearing glasses. He never moved the entire time I saw him. He was like a statue, so still. 8. I dreamt this man was Brazilian and very handsome. He was a schoolteacher type with 6 fingers on his right hand. He said if the U.S. had a nuclear disaster, go north. 9. I have seen this man in 3 completely different dreams. He was slightly different from the picture, but I recognized him immediately. He appeared suddenly and disappeared in the same manner. His message in all 3 of my dreams was, "It's all over." That was repeated 3 times in each dream. The differences in the picture and the man in my dream are, his hair was a little longer in the top. His eyebrows were not as bushy. Other than that, he was identical. I had no fear of him, but many questions. I have to say, I have many questions as well. But these seem relatively normal dreams, except for the fact that many different people are seeing the same man. Several theories have been developed to try and explain this. The following theories are the ones that elicit the greatest interest amongst the dreamers themselves. The first one is the archetype theory. So according to Carl Jung's psychoanalytic theory, this man is an archetypal image belonging to the collective unconscious that can surface in times of hardship, emotional development, drastic changes in our lives, stressful circumstances, etc., and particularly sensitive subjects. There's a religious theory. According to this theory, this man is the image of the Creator. That is to say, one of the forms in which God manifests himself today. This is the reason why his indications and the words he utters during the dreams should decidedly be followed by the dreamers. Next up is the dream surfer theory. This is a fascinating theory and one that has the greatest implications, but also has the lowest scientific credibility. According to this theory, this man is a real person. He can enter people's dreams by means of specific psychological skills. Some believe that in real life, this man looks like the man in the dreams. Others think that the man in the dreams looks completely different from his real-life counterpart. Either way, some people seem to believe that behind this man, there is a mental conditioning plan developed by a major corporation. Now, what that could be, there is no explanation. Then there's the dream imitation theory. This is a scientific sociological, English is hard, psychosociological theory, which claims that this phenomenon has arisen casually and progressively developed by imitation. Basically, when people are exposed to this phenomenon, they become so deeply impressed that they start seeing this man in their dreams. In other words, they make it a self-fulfilling prophecy. There's also the daytime recognition theory. So this theory states that the apparitions of this man are purely casual. Normally, we do not remember precisely the faces we see in our dreams, and the image of this man would be an instrument which, in the subject's waking life, facilitates recognition of an undefined image. So in other words, because we don't remember the faces we see in our dreams, we just assume that his face is one we have seen. So all of this is very intriguing. It gives me the creeps just to think about a strange man invading people's dreams. But was this actually happening? With this man's initial widespread exposure, there was suspicion from not only 4chan users, but also blogs that this was a guerrilla marketing stunt. They discovered thisman.org was hosted by the same company that also hosted a site named guerrillagalamarketing.it, a fake advertising agency which designed subversive hoaxes and created weird art projects exploring pornography, politics, and advertising. But some sources believed saying it was just a hoax wasn't investigating any real facts. And still, around the world, the flyers were going up and people were still claiming to see this man in their dreams. Finally, in 2012, Nutella, the original publisher of the website, published a paper he wrote titled Viral K Marketing that finally confirmed that this man was not real, but a stunt. However, while Nutella admitted thisman.org was simply a marketing ploy, he never revealed what it was promoting. Cue the internet sleuths. They went searching and they found Brian Bertino, a writer-director of horror films who made The Strangers and was apparently contracted to make a film about this man. It would have been about a person who hears about people he has never met before dreaming about him. It turns out Ghost House Pictures, a horror movie company, bought thisman.org in May of 2010, and that's who contracted Bertino to write and direct the film. But after this little bit of info, no further announcement has ever been made. Plans for a film just disappeared. But the website is still there. Vice magazine described it best. Quote, "The thing is, this man properly looks like the kind of dude you might see in a dream. You know, he's got a suede jacket on that smells distantly of cigarettes. His car is old and marooned. His voice is like a violin going backwards. He pats you on the back and you feel warm and nostalgic. Is it possible that seeing this man can make you dream about this man? Is the this man story a self-fulfilling prophecy priming people to dream what they've never dreamt before?" End quote. Here's the thing. This man is literally the everyman. Here's his picture. The face is an amalgamation of many common facial features, designed as a kind of catch-all to rouse a sense of familiarity. The hair is full and yet also balding. His eyes could be any color at all. His lips are partly full and partly thin. He has no distinctive race. His face shape is simultaneously angular and round. Cover the lower half of his face and he looks old. Cover the upper half and he looks young. Cover the right half and his eye is hooded, his nose large, his lips full. Cover the left half and his eye is smaller, his nose petite, his lips thin. In fact, it's a very different face altogether. These myriad common features mean that many people from all over the globe might find familiarity in his face and therefore seek to perpetuate the viral nature of this man. Of course, I have my own theory. This man arranged the story to look like a hoax when people around the world realized they were all dreaming of him. By making the world believe it was just a viral hoax, he could continue to do his work without suspicion. Now, what exactly that work is, I'm scared to speculate, so I'll let you figure that out for yourself. I hope you enjoyed a good yarn, and thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you next time. Bye!